Hi, we will talk about the dispute settlements. Some of them where Mexico has acted as a respondent, as a complainant, and as a third party.
Dispute Settlement 234 was between the North American Free Trade Agreement countries that are United States, Mexico, and Canada, in which the complainant were Canada and Mexico, and the respondent was the United States. There were some third parties involved, such as Argentina, Brazil, China, India, Japan, Korea, Thailand, and others. And the main topic of this dispute was the dispute over dumping. After several requested of a panel in 12th of July 2001, it was finally given. And the status of this dispute is that the appellate body compliance panel find that DSV recommendations have not been fully implemented. In dispute settlement 204 was between United States and Mexico about the measures affecting the telecommunication system services. The complainant was the United States, while the respondent was Mexico, and there were some countries involved as a third party, such as Australia, Brazil, Canada, Cuba, Honduras, India, Japan, Nicaragua, between others. This main topic was to discuss measures that affect the telecommunication systems. And on August 17 of 2000, the U.S. requested consultations with Mexico with respect to basic and value-added telecommunication services. On November 10, 2000 of the same year, the United States requested to establish a panel. The status to this dispute settlement was that Mexico published on the Diario Oficial de la Federación the new laws of the commercialization of services between both countries and the telecommunications of long distance and international long distance. This was in 2005. So Mexico needed to change the law, and after this panel was established, Mexico changed their constitution and they made it official in the Diario Oficial de la Federación in 2005.
The dispute settlement 280 was about the countervailing duties on steel plate from Mexico. The complainant here was Mexico and the respondent was the United States. The third parties that were involved were China, Canada, Chinese Taipei, and the European communities. Mexico asked for consultations on the January 21st of 2003. What Mexico claims is that the administrative review that led to the imposition of countervailing duties of 11.6 ad valorem by using the same person methodology. This methodology was incompatible with the Articles 10, 14, 19, and 21 of the SCM agreement. And in particular, what Mexico claims is that the U.S. Department of Commerce did not make a determination of the existence of a benefit as required in Article 1.1b of the SCM agreement. The status of this dispute settlement is that the dispute settlement body has agreed to create a panel, but the panelist has not been chosen yet. This status has been since 15 years ago. In conclusion, the U.S. is involved in similar situations created by President Trump's imposing highly elevated tariffs on steel products from other countries in order to protect its national steel industry.
The dispute settlement 281 talks about anti-dumping measures on cement from Mexico. The parties involved are Mexico and United States. Mexico is a complainant while United States is a respondent. The third parties involved are Canada, China, and Japan. And while Mexico requested consultations with the US on February 2003, then it requested an establishment of a panel in July 2003. And in September 2004, the Director General composed the panel. The status of this dispute settlement is that they got into a mutually agreed solution. They made the trading cement agreement, and this agreement has allowed an increased number of imports of Mexican cement, and it establishes clear rules about U.S. anti-dumping on Mexican cement.
The dispute settlement 216 is between Mexico and Brazil, and it's called Provisional Anti-Dumping Measure on Electric Transformers. In this case, the complainant is Brazil and Mexico acts as a respondent. This case was filed in December of the year 2000, and the status has been the same since that year, in which no dispute panel has been established.
Okay, so this last case, it's case DS-508 between United States and China. It's on export duties on certain raw materials. The complaint was made by the United States, and the respondent was China. The third parties involved in this case were Brazil, Canada, Chile, European Union, India, Indonesia, Japan, Kazakhstan, Korea, Mexico, between others. The main topic of this dispute settlement case was the export duties on raw materials such as antimony, cobalt, copper, graphite, lead, magnesia, amongst others. This was made 13th of July of 2016. The U.S. requested consultations with China. The measures was deemed inconsistent with paragraph 11.3, part 1 of China Accession Protocol. And the current status between this case is that a panel has been established but not composed, and this means that the panelists have not been chosen. This was in 2016. So yes, basically that. The dispute settlement body established a panel in the meeting of November 2016, and some countries such as Korea, Mexico, Norway, Japan, Indonesia, amongst others, reserved their rights as a third party. Also, in conclusion, we can see that Mexico, being such an open economy, utilizes this dispute settlement mechanism to avoid bilateral conflicts. Also, it's really important because it reduces the risk of investment, and the dispute settlement body is one of the main aspects that makes the World Trade Organization be able to enforce all of the conclusions that the dispute settlement body concludes in, and this gives it a character being more than only international law. And well, that's why the World Trade Organization is really important, because it can establish conciliatory measures. So we hope that you learned a lot in this video. Bye bye for now.